Welcome, welcome. Let me just press the unmute myself button. Okay, we're here, we're live. Happy Sunday. Who's ready to rock and roll? So those of you who have joined so far, say hello in the comments. Let me see you. Let me hear how you're feeling. I hope you've all had a fabulous weekend. I hope you are feeling supercharged and ready to rock and roll this evening, because it might be a Sunday evening, but we're not doing things Sunday style. We are going deep. We are going fast. I have got absolutely so much to share with you this evening. So make sure you have pen and paper at the ready. It might be that you've got your coffee at your side, or you might have a little cheeky glass of wine. Fair enough. It's a bank holiday weekend, especially here in the UK. I'm not sure if it's bank holiday over in Europe. You'll have to let me know. Hello, 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 hello. Yes, it's so nice to see you all. Okay, awesome. So it would be super helpful for me if you see anyone in the Facebook group, in the Attraction Alchemy Facebook group, saying, where is the live? Just drop them a note and be like, it's not live in here. It's in the Zoom room. Get your ass in the Zoom room. Those of you who have found me, well done. I'm really excited to dive into all things client attraction with you this evening. So, as I said, we have got so much that I want to go through with you, dive into with you. I've got to tell you, tonight is not an easy session. I am going to be giving you a ton of information. But with the information that I share today, knowing it is not going to be enough. When it comes to strategy, you're really going to have to take this, work with it, like build it into a strategy that is really super soul aligned for you, and then actually do the work in implementing it. So tonight is not for the faint-hearted. Tonight is for those of you who are really ready to rock and roll in your businesses. You're really ready to make it a success. You're really ready to go out there in a bigger, bolder, beautiful, super abundant way and make your thing your masterpiece. You're ready to receive richly for the work that you do and begin building just a super aligned, absolutely beautiful business for you and for every single person that you'll serve, whether you're service-based, whether you're product-based, or a mix of the two. So what I'm going to share with you tonight, here's the caveat around it. You will not find many people sharing this in a free masterclass. And actually, to be honest, there's not a lot of people even sharing this in paid programs. That's because the people, the coaches, the mentors know that there is work involved in this. They know that it could easily put you off because it might sound a little bit difficult. It might sound a little bit like scary. But I think that we've been having real conversations all week, right? We've been talking about what does it really take to make it a success. I think the worst thing in the world is when you feel like you're doing it all because of the information that you have and it's not working. Because that's when you start to doubt yourself. That's when you start to wonder what the heck is wrong. That's when you start to kind of tear your brain apart thinking, is it just me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I make it? It's the thing that leads to burnout. It's the thing that leads to sabotage. And it's the thing that's going to lead you back to a job rather than doing your purpose work. So I believe deeply in us having real, honest, open conversations around what it really takes to build the dream. And as I say that, I 100% in my heart, in my soul, believe that you can do this in a super aligned way for you, so that you can actually fall in love with these strategies, so that they can feel super aligned, so that you can get out there, do your purpose work in the world, so you can help the people who need your services, your products, so that you can really freaking well do this instead of feeling like you're just treading water going nowhere. Are you with me? Does this make does this make sense? And like, just tell me that you're ready to rock and roll. Tell me how you are and tell me that you rock and roll. Okay, I need to open my door because it's not open, partly because we've got a million bumblebees at the moment in the garden, but I am going to have to open the door or I'm going to be boiling hot really quickly. No, I have not put that link in, so I don't know if it's legit. I would just suggest that you take your own notes. That's what I would suggest, because we're going to have all kinds of conversations. So when the kind of bots take notes, it's going to be huge. It's going to be overwhelming. I think it's much better if you just take notes on the pieces that I dive into tonight that are going to be most useful for you. Okay, that's what I suggest. The other reason is that when we write, with our actual hand, we retain so much more of the information. So I also believe that by you listening, by you taking notes, you're actively learning, you're receiving it all, you're writing down the key pieces, you're going to remember it because it's your notes, it's going to make sense when you come back to it. And of course, I'm recording this so you're going to be able to watch the replay again if there are any missing pieces. So that is the reason that I haven't just got like an AI thing giving you notes. I really want you to stay tuned to absorb this, to actively learn, actively listen, so that you can go away and put this into action. Okay, you're ready. Hello, hello, hello. Right, so tonight even, we are going to be, number one, identifying what's not working for you right now when it comes to audience attraction. So for those of you who are literally just beginning in your business, give me a little like high five if you're just beginning in your business. You won't know what's not working yet because you're just getting started, right? So you're probably beginning this journey forwards, kind of thinking, okay, I get that audience attraction is a big thing. I want to make sure I get it right. Where do I even begin? And you probably want to avoid making the mistakes or getting stuck with this process. For those of you who have been building your business for a while, but you know that you're getting stuck in the mud somewhere when it comes to client attraction, I want to try and help you identify what is it? What is the piece of the puzzle that's currently holding you back? Because I believe 100% that it's possible for everyone to build their dream business, 100% that it's possible for you to attract more clients. But I also know that there are different pieces of the puzzle that we need to put in place in the correct way in order to get it all working for you, okay? So number one, I want you to take on that belief. This is 100% possible. Every single person can do this. And if it's not working now, it is not because there's something wrong with you or the business that you're building. It's because some of these little jigsaw pieces are not in the right place, or they're missing, or they're back to front, or upside down, or something else is going on, right? So I want to help you identify at least a little bit. We're going to have a quick conversation about it so that you can start to feel into what's actually stopping you from attracting the clients you desire. We're going to identify, number two, how you run a successful strategy. Because the truth is, the mind-blowing truth is, most people don't step into their business from an action way of actually utilizing strategies. Last week, we talked about the difference between action versus strategy. Who was with me last week? How many of you? Give me a little yes in the comments if you were with me as we went through the Attraction Alchemy experience last week. Give me a no in the comments if you weren't and you've jumped in here tonight, because it's like, this is the masterclass that you're wanting, just so I know kind of where everyone's at. So last week we talked about the difference between action versus strategy, right? So I want to make sure that as I share with you all these strategies tonight, you're going to know how to actually implement them from a strategy perspective rather than just an action perspective, because the two are worlds apart and the results that you get from utilizing one or the other are going to be completely different, right? So these only work when you run them as a strategy, not when you run them as an action, okay? So I want you to really take that on board before I share them all with you. And then thirdly, I am going to share with you 11 supercharged strategies to help you market beyond your bubble so that you really can attract all the soul clients that you desire. Now, here's the thing about these 11 strategies. Number one, I have used every single one of these strategies for myself, so I know they work. Number two, I utilize, if I can say that word, every single one of these strategies myself before I was business coaching. So for those people who say, yes, it's okay for you because you're teaching people how to build a business, but I'm not doing that, that does not work tonight, because these are strategies that I implemented before I even became a business coach, mentor, and all of those things, right? So I know that they work from that perspective. And number three, I have clients who are utilizing these strategies who are absolutely nailing it big time, who are deep diving into the growth of their business, into their client attraction, and they really are kind of beginning to make those 10K months, 20K months, 30K months, right? So this is possible for you too. So that's what we're diving into. Who's excited? Hopefully you're ready to receive all three key pieces for this evening. So you've just told me there were a few of you who were not here last week. That's no problem. Don't panic. This is going to make sense by itself. Those of you who were with me last week, awesome, because it's going to build on top of what we talked about. And I'm sure that you are waiting readily for, you're like, give me the thing, give me the things, give me the strategy square. Okay. second question for you. That's the first question. Did you join me last week? Second question is, what do you think the biggest obstacle is in the way of attracting more clients? Right now, in your business, as it stands today, what do you think is holding you back from attracting more clients? I want you to put it in the chat. Now, I know that it is going to be very different depending on where you are in your business journey. I know it's going to be very different depending on the different things that you're selling within your business. And I'm wondering what you're all going to pop in. Right, let me have a little look. We've got mind monkeys, me, myself, strategy, self-doubt, feeling overwhelmed, mindset, saturation, never think saturation. What do you mean by saturation, Bobby? Not saturation of the market, because that's going to help you. Saturation of something else, maybe. Lack of confidence, not being visible, what to charge, money, not enough people seeing my page, fear of doing something new, no one knows I exist. What else have we got? What else have we got? Not taking action out of doubts. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. Tonight, we are not diving into the mindset piece. The mindset piece is freaking huge. We obviously talked a bit about the mindset piece last week. Of course, as you go on your journey to attracting clients, as you implement the bubble bursting strategies, there is going to be an element of, because you are not in your comfort zone, you are operating in your stretch zone. And whenever we're operating in our stretch zone, those doubts are going to come in. Those mind monkeys are going to speak to us. There's going to be an element of, but can this work? Will it work? How should I do it? Does it need to be better? Am I good enough? And all of those things. So we want to be working with our mind. We want to be working with our emotions as we're in our stretch zone. What we don't want to be doing is going beyond our stretch zone to our freak out zone. In our freak out zone, well, that's the space that we just freeze up, where we don't take action. That's the, what is it? I can't speak tonight. Fight, freeze response that we have, right? So you either run a million miles away, you stop in the headlights like a deer, or you just, like, it all stops. Nothing happens. You get ready to just have a fight because you don't know me. So we don't want to get into that place where we're totally in our freak out zone. How do you make sure you don't go from your stretch zone to your freak out zone? You keep tuning in, you go your speed. One of the things that I talk about in all of my programs is the importance of going your speed. It is not about comparing yourself to other people. It is not about like holding yourself accountable to some crazy high standards that just actually put you into sabotage mode. The whole point of this, the whole point of you building your dream business is that you actually enjoy the journey, is that you actually wake up excited each and every day to build your business, is that it feels good, is that, like, from an emotional perspective, you can regulate yourself as you go this pathway. So it's recognizing the difference between fear mode versus stretch mode, and we can actually begin to really enjoy the stretch zone, right? It's that place where you get the tingles. It's that place where you go, it's that place where you have like both the excitement, but also a bit of the fear, but it's not too much fear. And so it actually feels good. And as you begin taking action, it builds your confidence. It builds that belief in you. You begin to go like, yes, I've got this. Yes, I've got this. Yes, I've got this. That's where we want to be operating. So we're not diving into the mindset tonight. The mindset is a huge piece. I believe it's super important. We include the mindset in all the work that I do with my clients. So just know mindset is everything, because when it comes to us building our businesses, it starts from the inside out, right? That's the whole point of soul-led business growth. It's not about looking outside of us and saying, oh, it should be this, it should be this, it should be this. It's about going inside of us and going, like, what is aligned for me? What do I desire? What feels just super freaking good? And so when we go from the inside out, that's when we're building soul-led businesses. That's when we're operating from alignment. That's when we're allowing the inspiration to flow through us. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Let me get back on track. So we are going to look at how you get beyond your bubble, right? That's the focus of tonight's masterclass, and it works beautifully with everything that we dived into last week as part of client attraction. The final question that I have for you before we actually dive in is, who's product-based and who's service-based? Because the strategies that are going to work, that I'm going to share with you tonight, are going to work either way, but you're going to have to tweak them and utilize them a little bit differently. Now, I imagine that most of you are service-based, but I know some of you will be product-based and some of you will be a combination of the two. If you're product-based, what I want you to recognize is you need to share from you being the part of the brand of your business. People will buy from you because they love you, right? So I want you to keep that in mind as we go through these strategies. And when I share some of the strategies, I want you to recognize that it's not about giving away any of your products. It's about giving away something free that you can share. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. Okay, so are we ready to do this, baby? Whoop, whoop, whoop. I can see a bit of a combination. Service, service, service. Okay. Fantastic. Right, let me have a sip of my orange squash and we will dive in. Right. So, number one, what are the essential elements for audience attraction? We have talked about these last week, but I want to dive into them again with you. So, number one, we have to be speaking to the right soul client. That seems so obvious. It seems so simple. But guess what? Probably 70% of businesses are not speaking to the aligned soul client. What do you mean by that, Claire? Well, essentially, people are doing one of two things. Either people are trying to speak to everyone, and we talked about that last week. When you try to speak to everyone, essentially you speak to no one. So we want to get specific in our message, not from like surface-based things, not from like, it's a woman, she's 35, she's got 2.4 children, and she lives in Birmingham. No, 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 no. We want to speak specifically to the person from a soul perspective. What is it that drives this person? What is it that they love about life? What is it that they're searching for? What are their beliefs? Like when we go deeper, it doesn't mean like you haven't got to choose, oh, it's a man or a woman, they're 30 or they're 40, they live here or they live here. Like, no, that's not how we define our soul client. We have to go deep to define our soul client. And when we speak to our soul client from a place of depth, we literally speak soul to soul. We speak heart to heart. It's when that person goes, oh my God, she is speaking to me. So that's the effect that we want to create, right? So either people are making the first mistake where they're trying to speak to everyone and therefore they're speaking to no one, and they're coming at soul client clarity from the wrong perspective. They're looking at it surface level rather than going deep, or they're speaking to a version of themselves or a soul client who is too far back. And the reason that we do this sometimes is because we're scared of owning our awesomeness, owning our genius, owning how we can really truly help serve this person. So what happens, and this is specifically for those who are service-based, is we feel a bit scared trying to sell to people who are just one step behind us or two steps behind us. So very often we go 10 steps behind us because it feels a little bit safer. What we're essentially doing is we're playing small with our soul clients because it feels like, oh, well, I can definitely help that person. Because I've definitely done so much more around that, learned so much, blah, blah, blah. So because we play small with our soul client, it means that number one, there's a disconnect. Number two, the energy isn't aligned. And number three, those people that you might well be selling to are not ready to take that leap into the thing that you really want to sell, into the thing that you really want to do. And that's when you get stuck in cycles of undercharging, creating things that aren't quite the thing that you really want to create. You hold yourself back, you play small. So as I share those two things with you, I just want you to begin with feeling into that, especially those of you who are already operating in your business, but this goes for those of you who are just getting started too. I want you to check in. Could you potentially be making one of those two mistakes? And if you are, I want you to share this. So mistake number one is you're speaking to everyone because you don't know how to like narrow down your message, speak to that soul client from a place of soul. Maybe you've been trying to do it from that top level perspective. So you can put number one if you think that that might be you, number one. And number two is if really you're thinking, oh shit, maybe I've actually been playing a little bit small with my soul client who I'm speaking to because it feels safe and it feels a little bit scary to really own, to really hold the person who you truly want to be working with in the way you truly want to be working, because those feelings of like, oh my God, am I really ready? Can I really do this? Come up for you. But guess what's happening if you do that? Your energy is misaligned. So some of you are going to recognize, okay, from the perspective of client attraction, we are literally falling at the first hurdle. You're not alone. How many other people in the comments are doing this too? I did this too. So many times I had to learn my lesson again and again and again and again, right? It is very freaking easy to get caught up in one of these two mistakes, or actually in both of them. It's really easy to go big picture and not be able to speak to the one because you're multi-passionate, because you know the thing that you do can help so many people, and so you feel like it narrows you down to speak to one. But when we do it from that soul level, not the surface level, we can do it, and it sets us free rather than putting us in a prison. So that, I know some of you will be feel into that and begin to give yourself permission to go beyond it. And for those of you who know you might be playing small with who your soul client is, this is about taking the leap. This is about seeing the true you, as opposed to that echo of yourself that we talked a little bit about last week. Is this making sense? So that's essentially hurdle number one when it comes to client attraction. If we're not speaking to the right person, we're essentially building a misaligned audience, and a misaligned audience is never going to buy the real thing that you want to sell at the real price point that you want to sell it in the way that you actually want to deliver it, right? And all of that is so important when we're building soul-led businesses. The second hurdle is having a social media presence, having a powerful social media presence. That means not hiding. It means not spaghetti marketing. It means knowing where you're showing up. It means showing up powerfully. It means giving yourself permission to be visible. It means speaking your truth. It means inviting people to that next step. It means no longer hiding, playing small, kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, being scared of judgment, being scared of what people will say, being scared of failing, all of those kind of things. Cheryl says, can you still do the challenge from last week? Yes, of course, Cheryl. All the content is still available. Join the group at the end of today. Remind me, and I'll pop the links in, because all the content's available for another week. So yes. So that's the second hurdle, right? Having a powerful social media presence. So hurdle number one, speaking to the right soul client. Hurdle number two, having a powerful social media presence. So how many of you feel like hurdle number two might be your sticking point? Because maybe you're getting overwhelmed by where you should be showing up, what you should be posting. And so you feel like you're constantly hopping. Maybe you get caught up in what should you say? What should you share? Maybe it's taking you ages to create content because you're overthinking it. You're getting to perfection mode. Maybe you're not quite sure what you should be saying. And it feels a little bit like, what's the point of saying anything anyway? Because no one's even taking any notice. Doesn't matter. We still need to show up and share from our soul first. Maybe you're not fully speaking your truth because you're a little bit scared of what people will say if you begin doing it. So all of those are part of hurdle number two, and ways that we can be sabotaging ourselves without even knowing it, right? So some of you might be like, yeah, I've got one and I've got number two. Holy moly. Don't worry, we can change it all. Like, we've all been there. We've all made those mistakes at some point. Okay, so it begins with us showing up in our social media spaces, or us getting clear on where do I want to show up, us giving ourselves permission to speak our truth, us giving ourselves permission to be visible, and of course, give people that next step, the invitation to the next step with us. Then, third hurdle, number three, is having a way to build connection and showcasing your content. The days are gone when you can just say, I'm brilliant at this, come and buy it, or this thing works, come and buy it. We actually need to give people a taste. Now, that does not mean we need to give it all away for free. The amount of taste, the size of that bite is going to be different for each of you individually, depending on your natural boundaries. Some of you will want to give hugely in that taste. Some of you will want to give that taste in a really specific way. So one of the things here is actually finding what is aligned for you when it comes to giving people that taste of the value that you have, the value that you share in the thing that you sell. But we definitely want people to be able to taste our magic, because that's when they're going to know if the thing is actually super aligned for them or not. But we want to do it in an easeful way. We want to do it in a flow way. We don't want to be doing it in a way that feels like it's super huge and too big to dive into and just like too overwhelming to even get started. So how many of you feel like you might be falling at the third hurdle, which is building connection and showcasing your value? Give me a little number three if that feels like it could be you. Okay, cool. All right. Then, of course, we have hurdle number 4. Hurdle number 4 is a strategy to go beyond your current bubble to attract in new clients. So, number 1, once we know we're speaking to the fully aligned soul client, like brilliant, that means that our message is going to be on the mark. Hurdle number 2, once we've nailed it, once we've like leapt over that hurdle, I've got like horse riding in my head. We know that we're nailing our social media presence. We're showing up, we're being like magnetic because we're sharing ourselves, we're not getting in our head, we're allowing ourselves for content creation, showing up in our power to be easeful. Then, of course, number 3, like we're taking people to that next step. We're giving them a taste of our magic. Once we're doing that, that means that when someone discovers us, they're going to be like, oh my God, yes, who is this person? I've been searching for this thing. I want to know more. So once we've got 1, 2, and 3 in place, then we need to be going to step 4, which is what we're going to be sharing tonight, which is those bubble bursting strategies. Because once we're doing that, we no longer just want to be posting to our Aunt Sue and our mum and our sister. We actually want to be going further afield. We want to make sure that we're attracting in soul clients so that we can scale our business, so we can grow, so that you can fill your one-to-one offers or group offers or memberships or whatever it might be, so you can sell out your services, and so that you can have your products like literally flying off the shelf. So we want to make sure that once we've got those first 3 hurdles in place at number 4, like we're going beyond our bubble. So we've got like a consistent stream of new soul clients. We want that consistency. We want it to flow like a stream, right? That's how it should feel within your business. And then, of course, and we're not going to talk about this tonight because tonight is all about audience attraction, but we did talk about it last week on day 4. We want to sell because none of us are actually building a hobby. None of us are doing this just for fun. You need to receive with ease for the work that you do. And as heart-led entrepreneurs, we know that this can be a huge hurdle. But when you've put in the work, when you've shown up, when you've given people that taste, when you've gone beyond your bubble, you're going to be so ready to receive. So that's when we sell with soul. That's when we really allow ourselves to tap in deeply and recognize that selling is serving in its most powerful way. Okay? So these are essentially the elements, the ingredients to client attraction, and we want to have all of them in place so that if we were leaping them on the horse, it would literally be like yes and yes and yes and yes and yes, and we can just enjoy the whole thing. Can anyone tell I've been doing lots of horse riding this weekend? Okay, so tell me in the comments, everyone. Does it feel like it's just one of them or 2 of them? Like, how many of these do you feel like you have to nail? As you look at this, I want you to be like, okay, cool, I have the awareness. Brilliant, because once we have an awareness, then comes change. If we don't know, and we're just banging our head against a brick wall, wondering why is it not working for me? And that's the worst thing of all. So now that you see, okay, this is cool. I see where I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 places that I can tweak, that I can change, that I can improve to really begin making the money, honey, right? So see this as an opportunity rather than feeling like, oh my God, I've got to do them all. If you've got to do them all, that's fine. Actually, that's flipping brilliant, because look at all the different things you're going to be able to do so that you're creating success in your business. So you see your income growing. So you actually begin to have the business of your dreams. Yeah? Are you with me? How does this feel? How does this feel as I go through it all? Can you tap into that energy of like, yes, this is great because now I see how. Now I've got a way. Now I've got a roadmap and I can go, okay, these are the pieces that I need to be putting into my puzzle. Any of you who are feeling a little bit like, sending you love, you've got this, feel into the feeling and then release it, because you are magic, you've got this, no pressure, you go your speed, you do it your way, and it's going to feel flipping magical once you achieve it. Okay, right. Okay, so then what stops most people from actually implementing a strategy? So now you have like the pieces, and I'm going to be sharing the strategy. So what could stop you from actually implementing the strategy? Well, the first thing is you don't have the knowledge for the strategy, right? I'm going to give you the knowledge tonight. The second thing is the strategy feels misaligned. How many of you in the past, when it's come to growing your business, whether it's around client attraction, whether it's around selling, whether it's around any other piece within your business, you've not had the know-how, but you haven't taken the action because it's felt misaligned? When something feels misaligned, it's really hard to do. That's when we feel like we're just going round and round in circles, and that's when we start beating ourselves up. And when we start beating ourselves up, it's like, dun, 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 dun. Notice it's not that you're not good enough, it's that something is feeling misaligned. So it's not like there's something wrong with you, it's not your fault. But instead of going, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just do this thing? It's going, okay, what is misaligned here? How do we create alignment? And here's a beautiful thing about alignment. As human beings, we can shift and change our alignment. When we change our focus, when we change our perspective, when we change the way we go about something, our alignment shifts. When we change our beliefs, when we change our habits, when we change our mindset, our alignment shifts. So when it comes to us growing our business, we don't just have to go, oh, well, that's out of alignment for me, so I can't do it. We go, why does that feel out of alignment for me? And how do I change it? And you'll have heard me talking probably a million times already about how when I first started my own coaching business, I was in that place where I was like, I just want to coach. I just want to coach. I just want to coach. I don't want to have to do any of the marketing. I don't want to have to be visible. I don't want to have to share a message. I don't want to have to sell. At the time, therefore, selling, marketing, all of those things were misaligned. Well, how did I bring them into alignment? Because I definitely didn't just never ever do those things. I found a way so that I could get my energy behind them. I brought them into alignment. I changed my focus. I changed my mindset. I changed the way that I went about some of the action. So I allowed myself to flow like liquid, like water, to find a way to actually bring these strategies into alignment so that I could get into action. And once that happens, well, that's when it's like, merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Because that's when we can go down the stream. That's when we stop trying to like go against the current. We're thrashing and we're thrashing and we're thrashing and we're putting in all our energy and we're getting absolutely exhausted. When we allow ourselves to go, then we can move with the flow. And that's when it feels good. And that's when we actually start seeing the results. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have the knowledge. We want to make sure that we change that alignment so that it feels aligned rather than misaligned. And we want to check in with our mindset, recognizing that if something feels misaligned, we're able to change it usually. Okay, so of those things, which feels it's like it's your current block? Do you feel like number one, it's the know-how, I just don't know this, so I can't do it? Or do you feel like it's the block around alignment, or you can put a number three, like something else if you want? Okay, cool. That's really interesting. A mixture of one and twos. All right, cool, good. All right. So as we go through this tonight, as I share the strategies with you, that's going to give you a piece of the knowledge, right? So once you have the piece of the knowledge, then you're going to have to tune into, okay, which of these is most aligned for me? How do I desire to go about bursting my bubble and attracting in more clients? What might I need to shift, change, look at, twizzle, so that it actually feels aligned and that I can get into action, as opposed to, oh my God, Claire says I've got to do one of these, so which one am I going to choose? I'm just going to have to sit down and force myself to do the damn thing. No, 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 no. Let's actually bring it into alignment so that it feels good. So in terms of actually building this into a strategy, we need to remember that for any strategy to be successful, we need to plan and prepare for it. Right? We can't just dive into a strategy and action it without planning and preparation. That's one of the key differences between action and strategy. We can dive into action and figure it out as we go. But if we want to implement a strategy and we want for that strategy to be successful, we actually need to plan it and we need to prepare for it. So for those of you who are like hot off the heels, you just like go at a million miles an hour. And this is often me, by the way, like I just dive in. I don't read the instructions. This is for those of you who, when you go to like IKEA and you buy a new piece of furniture, you just pour it all out and you just start trying to put it all together, forget the instructions, forget the step by step. It's just like, and then like an hour in, you're like, oh, where are the instructions? This doesn't look right. Oh, damn it. I thought I'd done it, but this one piece doesn't attach. Oh, I need to go all the way back to the beginning, right? This is me, right? So this is for those of you who know you do that. Who just want to speed ahead, who want to miss the instructions. When it comes to strategies, It's really important to actually plan and prepare for the strategy. Otherwise, you're probably going to cause a lot more work for yourself, right? Yes, you know. Okay. The second thing about a strategy is we have to measure it and improve it. So and again, this is how a strategy is different to action, right? If an action's not working, you can just be like, take that action, throw it away. It's not working. But if it's a strategy, essentially you're throwing the baby away with the bathwater, right? So we don't want to do that. In a strategy, we want to measure it and we want to improve it. Measure, improve, measure, improve. Now, I know measure and improving is not very sexy, right? I know that it's not the most like fascinating part of growing your business, but I also know what is sexy is when your strategy actually works and you're seeing the results and people are signing up and you're like, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm in a bit of a silly mood tonight, obviously. So that is sexy. That's sexy as hell. So it's worth measuring and improving to get to the end result so that you've actually got a strategy that works. It's worth sitting down and looking at that, right? Okay, cool. So we want to plan and prepare. We want to measure and improve. Then once we've measured and improved, we want to build and grow. And again, this is a third place. The people don't do it. They run the strategy, they plan and prepare. Okay, I've done it. I've got a plan in place. Let's rock and roll. Okay, I'm implementing the strategy. All right, let me tweak it, let me change it, let me improve it, let me measure it. All right, good. This is kind of working. I'm making 3K months. Okay, awesome. I'm just going to keep on doing this because now it feels quite safe, right? No, there is so much more possibility that awaits you. So once we've planned and prepared our strategy, once we've measured and improved our strategy, then we want to build and grow our strategy so that you can scale to that next level that's going to feel super freaking amazing for you and for all your soul clients. You don't know how to implement a strategy. Okay, so those three pieces are key to being able to implement any strategy. You have no idea how to do the measuring. Okay, all right, we'll talk a little bit about this as we dive into the actual strategies. No idea on strategy. Yeah, so the strategy piece, this is one of the things that I've definitely recognized over the years of building my business. As females, are there any guys here? If there's any guys here, hold up your hand, tell me that you're here. As women, we generally don't think about running strategies. It's quite masculine energy. If you go to like so I've been to masterminds that are female masterminds. I've been to masterminds that are mixed masterminds and much more kind of male. There's much more men in the group. In the female masterminds that I've been to, there is no conversation about strategy. There is lots of conversation about all the things, selling, buying, soul clients, marketing, advertising, all of these things, but never does anyone talk about strategy. Go to a group that's filled with men and it is all freaking strategy. Strategy, measure, improve. Strategy, measure, improve. Scale, scale, scale. Like, actually, we need both. And as women, we especially need to be able to implement the strategy because strategy is the key to working smart, not hard. When we feel like we're running around doing life at 1,000,000 miles an hour, because we're juggling so much, because we've often got so many different like plates that are spinning all at the same time, right? We actually need to have strategies within our business. And I think that very often strategies are the thing that can get overlooked, either because we've just never really been taught to look at things from the perspective of strategy, or because it just feels maybe a bit boring, or because we're so busy we haven't even had time to think about it. So we're just in action, in action, in action all the time. When we take a step back and we look at things from the perspective of strategy, when we break it down, when we figure out what are the steps and how do I run it and how do I measure it and how do I improve it and how do I scale it, this is when suddenly things change. And it's a really essential element of building a successful business because it's going to, in the long term, it's going to set you free. In the long term, it's going to feel way more at ease. In the long term, it's going to mean that instead of just guessing, instead of just like spaghetti marketing all over the place and crossing your fingers and hoping it works, you actually know what works. It gives you certainty. I remember when I was first building my business, and it was when I first began having an accountant and a bookkeeper and things like that. And I remember them saying to me, like, okay, so what are your forecasts? And I was like, how the heck do I forecast what I'm going to make in my business? Because I don't know. I don't know how many people are going to buy from me. I felt like every single month I'd get to the beginning of the month, but it would be like, what am I doing this month? What am I selling this month? How am I going to find people this month? Who's going to buy from me this month? Will anybody buy from me this month? I don't know. Sometimes I felt like I got lucky and it was like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And other times it was like, it's not happening. It's never going to happen. I need to go get a job, right? And so no wonder when I was first trying to build my business, I was building it from a point of scarcity. And as women, why so often when we're building our businesses, we're building it from a point of scarcity because we can't project. We can't look at our business and be like, yeah, okay, so this month I'm going to earn this much, and then this month this much, and then this month this much, and then this month this much. Because it feels like we're just going, catch it, catch it, catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it. Whew, I'm exhausted. I'm doing the best that I can. I need a break. I can't do it. So I need to go get a job. And I say that kind of joking, but I'm also like really not joking because I was there 100% and I have seen so many women there 100%. And unfortunately, we're doing ourselves a huge disservice because we're working so freaking hard and we're not receiving for that work. And so it's really important that we actually begin doing this in a different way. And I absolutely believe that strategy can be super soul led, that it can feel good, that it can feel inspiring, and that it can actually be sexy as hell. Right? So this is why strategy for me is such an important piece, and why I'm really passionate about helping women see their businesses from a strategic point of view, so that you're no longer second guessing, so that you can forecast the income in your business, so that you know you're going to grow, and so that you don't just feel like you're spinning plates all over the place and are going to crash and burn any day. That is not how we want to be building businesses. Okay, so I'm totally gone off plan as usual. But I feel like that was a really important conversation to have. Is that useful? Just kind of going through that. All right, so aligned strategy essentially means that we're not just crossing our fingers and hoping and praying. We have certainty and consistency within our business. And what we want to be doing in our businesses is building in all kinds of different strategy for all the different jigsaw pieces so that you can feel more easeful, more in flow, have more spaciousness, and know that this thing is going to work. Right. So every strategy that we run needs to grab attention, it needs to invite people to your world, and it needs to build connection. Right? These three things. The strategies for attraction, alchemy, all need to grab attention, invite your world, and build connection. Now, as I say that, I know some of you are going to be thinking like, oh my God, I don't know how to grab attention. Oh my God, I don't like, how should I invite them to my world? Where even is my world? Oh my God, how do I build connection? I know that some of you might have lots of questions around that. And this is why I have the Academy, so that I can take you through that. Lots of you know that right now the doors are open to my Academy. At the very end of the masterclass today, I am going to share more about the Academy with you. I'm going to go through it step by step so you know what's involved, what you get, who it's for. This is why we need to go into a bigger container, because there are so many of these pieces, but once we get them right, it is like, boom, the magic happens. The pieces pop into place and suddenly like, whoo, you see the whole picture. It's working, it's consistent. So when I say it needs to grab attention, you need to invite people to your world, you need to build connection, I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I don't want you to go into panic. I don't want you to sabotage yourself, right? Try and just breathe through it. Trust, don't get into overwhelm or any of those things, because it's just going to put you into sabotage. So work with yourself emotionally as you do this work. Sophie says, woo, just signed up for the Academy. Yeah, baby. Mwah. Camilla, how long does this webinar last? That is a very good question. How long is a piece of string? If I keep going completely off topic, it's going to last all freaking night. Maria, you did. You also signed. Yes. Okay. So, final thing before I actually get to the strategies with you is we talked last week about how there are 3 levels of client attraction. We talked about there being 100% organic. We talked about being hybrid, and we talked about running ads. Now, I truly believe that hybrid is like the magic spot. I really think that the quicker we can get to hybrid, the better, but we have to start with organic. So all of these strategies that I'm about to share with you, you can run on organic, right? And I suggest you do run them organically to begin with to actually get them working for you. Then, as your business begins to grow, and as we know these pieces of the puzzle are working, once we know we're hitting your soul clients, when we know we've got the messaging right, when we know you're showing up in your space powerfully, when we know that you've got those pieces that give people a taste of you, when we know that you can sell effectively, then we want to like grow the whole thing with the hybrid system so that your work, so the results are coming in more quickly, so that you're building your audience with more speed, so that you're actually working less. And at some and that balance tips. So if you imagine the balance as like like a weighing scale. In the early days of your business, it's going to be like super heavy organic and probably nothing on ads. And then as we bring these pieces into place and they're working better and better and better, we want to start bringing in the hybrid ads, right? So it's like, oh, there's organic marketing happening here, and there's a few little like hybrid ads to speed it up. And then as this happens and you begin making more money, as you begin like signing up more clients and everything else, it begins to go like this. And then what you're going to find is when you get beyond the 6-figure mark, when you're doing like 15k months quite consistently, this is going to start to happen. And then when you get to like the 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 like point in your business, whether it's pounds or euros or dollars, then you're going to kind of find this, and you're going to probably do far less organic marketing and far more ads, because you've got the money to put into ads. Ads are working. You haven't got as much time because you're serving your clients. Does that make sense? So this is what happens as our businesses grow, from that perspective of beginning with the organic client attraction and then moving into hybrid. And then once we've nailed that and we've really got past that 6-figure mark, then we would utilize ads like more consistently. Are you with it? Jamie says, if you're on the fence, go for it. It's worth every single penny times 100. The gorgeous Jamie is in my current academy. Angel says, yeah, thank you. All right. So, right. Woo, to the actual strategies. Are you ready? Just tell me, has this been useful so far? We've obviously haven't even began the strategies, but I really hope we've been, oh my God, how long have we been live for? A long time, more than I expected. We've been live for quite a while, but I feel like all of these pieces are actually really important in and of themselves. There's no point me just telling you the strategies without this behind it, because you're missing too much to be able to like understand it, to put it into place. Okay, cool, brilliant. Right, let's do this then. Let's get to the strategies. So I'm about to go through 11 strategies with you that will help you market beyond your bubble. So before you begin running these strategies, you want to be clear on your soul client, you want to be showing up consistently, you want to be sharing value. Then we go to the bubble bursting strategies, okay? Because this is the way that you go further and bring people into your world. These 11, as I said, are all strategies that I have ran myself. Are there more than 11 strategies? Of course there freaking well are. But I'm going to share 11 that I like, that I've used, and that I have clients using successfully, right? Because then I feel like it's just tick, tick, tick. It makes sense to me to share those that I know work successfully with you. You only need one. Hear that? You only need to choose one of these strategies, and you only need to utilize it on a month-by-month basis. So once a month usually is going to be enough to build that growth within your business. You do not need 11 strategies. You do not need 5 strategies. You do not even need 3 strategies. One is probably enough for your business to grow big time if you're doing the other pieces, okay? So tonight isn't about, I need to do all of these and figure out how to do all of these. Tonight is about which one feels most aligned for you. Let's choose that. Let's begin building a real strategy around it. Let's prep it. Let's plan it. Let's utilize it. Let's measure it. Let's improve it. Let's grow it. Let's build on it and scale, right? As opposed to like, I'm going to try that one, then I'm going to try that one, then I'm going to try that one, then I'm going to try that one. No, choose one and let's really freaking nail it, Right. So I'm going to read you I'm going to read you the 11 strategies, and then I'm going to go through them and explain them in a bit more detail. Okay. I just can't get past that block that I can actually make money earning more than, even 2 to 3K months. That's okay. I was there to begin with too. And that's why inside the academy and inside all of my training, actually, we talk so much about the mindset. We talk so much about the alignment. When I first began my business, I didn't even want a 6-figure business, let alone anything more than that. I didn't believe I could have a 6-figure business, let alone anything more than that. I crossed my fingers. I prayed. I used to think if I could make, what was the amount at the time? It was 2K a month. If I could make 2K a month, that would have been the equivalent as I was making as a teacher. And I was like, if I could do that, it is going to blow my mind. It is going to be amazing. So of course you're going to have doubt because you don't yet have the evidence that says that you can do it. And the way that our beliefs work, we want evidence, right? It's like, give me the evidence and then I'll believe it. No, you have to believe it and then the evidence will present itself, right? So this is where we have to take that leap. We have to recognize it's possible. We have to believe it's possible. And in believing it's possible, we find the aligned action, we implement the strategies, it begins working. Okay. You'd be happy with 2,000. Yeah, it's a great starting point, right? And once you're making 2,000, those of you who are saying like DM later, that's just rude. Stop DMing later. Either you're here for this or not. Okay. Right, be careful. Period, day to day. Okay, let's do the strategies. Number 1 is the expert sessions, right? Number 1, the expert sessions. Number 2 is the value magnet swap. You might want to write these down as we go, but don't worry because I'm about to go back through them. Number 3 is mighty monthly meetups. Number 4 is your network is your net worth. Number 5 is what I call the piggyback. I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. Number 6 is the super networker. Number 7 is the published expert. Number 8 is power podcasting. Number 9 is the viral quiz. Number 10 is the giveaway. And number 11 is the group contributor. So I'm about to go through each of those individually, but as I share them, is there anything that specifically, is it even as I like whiz through them like that, you're like, yes, this or no, that? Yes, this or no, that? Anybody? Okay. I wish I can do Steno. I don't know what Steno means. Expert sessions, yes. Podcast, value swap. I went too fast. That's okay. I'm going to go through them properly now. I don't know if you got half them. Okay. All right. Let's dive into them properly then, shall we? Right. Okay, so number 1, expert sessions. So expert sessions are for you if you like showing up and giving value, if you like actually teaching. So expert sessions usually take the form of a masterclass, or they take a form of like you sharing something. So for example, you could do expert sessions in like a card reading. If you're working spiritually and if you work with cards, you could do a card reading for the expert sessions, or you could do a specific teaching. A masterclass is perfect for expert sessions. But essentially in an expert session, it's going to be like maybe somewhere between 15 minutes to 45 minutes long. It's going to be planned. You're going to show up and you're going to deliver as the expert a piece of value. Now, the idea behind this is that you can rerun this again and again and again and again, right? So it's basically a session that you plan, that you create specifically for your soul client, their main pain point, their main desire, and what you do to serve them and how you would help with your thing. And then you go to other people's spaces and you share it. Now, how do you do this? This is where the concept of shared audience comes into play, right? You already know so many people. You're already connected to so many people. I do not believe in hopping into other people's spaces and like trying to like client grab. Oh, I'm going to go into this person's group and just try and grab clients. I'm going to cold message these people here, client grab. I'm going to hop into this class here and try and client, like, oh, that's so friggin' icky. But you know what? There are so many people out there who are building businesses who want to give extra value, who want to also grow their audiences, right? So the idea of this is that you tap into the power of shared audiences. This is where you go, you build connection with people who have audiences who complement what you do, not compete with what you do, right? So if you were a mindset coach, you wouldn't go to another mindset coach because potentially you're selling the same kind of thing and there might be competition there. You want to complement what they do. As a mindset coach, you could go into a nutritionist and you could be like, oh, hey, I think we have similar audiences and I think that I can offer something of value to your audience and you might be able to offer something of value to my audience. So we find that connection piece, right? And what we do is once a month, we will go to someone's group or someone's page or someone's gathering, it can be online or offline, and we deliver our expert session to that space. So the way that I would run this as a strategy is, number one, I would plan a masterclass. I'd be like, okay, what is the masterclass or what is the expert session that my soul clients are going to get a huge amount of value from? They're going to love it. I'm going to plan it. I'm going to prepare it. That would be step one, right? Yes, this is still the expert session. Number two, I'm going to write a list of who do I know who has an audience that complements mine but doesn't compete. Who do I already know? What can I tap into? Now, this is where, because I know at this point, some of you are going to be going like, I don't know anyone. This is something that I'm really passionate about. And this year I created something called Gold Rush Gathering, which is essentially networking. So that all the women across the board in all my programs can come together, can network together, and can utilize each other's audiences in order to do that. So those of you who are already in one of my programs and you're in my world, like if you're utilizing these, awesome, because you're making the most of them. If you're not, make sure you do, because this is something I'm super passionate about, creating space so that you can connect, so that you can utilize these strategies, so that you can grow. Tess says you love the Gold Rush gatherings, right? This is the whole point. We want to be building our connection so that we can do this in a super aligned way. But here's the other thing. You don't need to know hundreds of people. This is one person per month. Can you build a relationship with one person per month who has an audience similar to yours, but who does something different? I believe 100% you can. Because this isn't just for you. This isn't you going and saying, oh, please, can I? This is going, let's support each other. I believe we have a similar audience. I believe we could support each other. I would love to come to your audience and give value. And then I would love for you, like next month maybe, to come to my audience and give value. So it's that concept of for you, for me, for us. We all rise together. This isn't just me want to take. This is me going, how do we together collaborate? Like collaboration is queen in the female space of entrepreneurship. We need to be collaborating and utilizing and connecting like more powerfully, because it is one of the ways that we work in our feminine energy, right? But very often we completely bypass this, not recognizing how powerful it can be. So the first one is the expert session. We plan an expert session. We get clear on where we could deliver this expert session. We plan our diary, one per month. That's all. We find the person, we build a connection, and we go to their space. And then, of course, we offer them to do it in response to in our space. As you do this, your audience will grow. So maybe the very first one you do, let's say you have like 0 audience right now. And you're like, I want to do this, but who's going to want me? You go to someone else with a small audience. Maybe you go to someone who's got a group of like 30 people or 50 people following your page, their page. And you go to them and you say, hey, I would love to do this. Would you be up for it? Okay, brilliant. So you go to them and maybe 10 of their audience come and follow you as well. And then the next month you go to another one and maybe another 10. Okay, you've got an audience of 20 now and you're doing your other things. So that's going to grow. That means that by the time you get to month 4, you could be going to people with an audience of like 200, 300. So maybe 40 people move across. So can you see what's I've forgotten the word. This is where I need your help. What's the word that I can't think of? It grows and grows and grows. It does snowball. There's a proper word for it though. What's the proper word? It does compounds. It compounds, right? So it compounds. So it might be that the very first month it's like, oh, you do this and you gain 5 people following you. But by month 10, by month 12, you're going to have an audience of hundreds, right? And with an audience of hundreds, you can be making 6 figures, no question about it. So could you utilize this strategy in a really simple way once per month to build your business to 6 figures in 12 months' time? Yes, yes, and yes. So when you look at it from that perspective, the potential is huge. And it's actually not too complicated if you're just thinking of it from the perspective of once per month. One place to share your expertise per month. Are you with me? Who likes the sound of that one? So what do we have to do? We have to turn it into a strategy. We have to go, okay, what are the steps? What is the process? I need to figure out what my expert session is. I need to plan it. I need to prepare it. I need to find the first place that I can build it. I need to put it in the diary. I need to find the next place. Like, we turn it into a strategy. What isn't working in the strategy? Step one, the masterclass, the name isn't working. No one's interested. Okay, let me change the name so that it's really sexy and grabbing the attention of my soul clients. Brilliant. Step two is working. I'm building connection. Step three is working. I'm getting into people's groups. But you know what? I keep forgetting to invite people to my group. So I need to give a better call to action. Okay, let's tweak that. The whole thing begins working more effectively. So this is where I'm sharing these strategies with you, but you've got to think in terms of strategy, in terms of how you will plan it, how you will prepare it, how you will implement it, and how you will grow it. Yeah? Are you with me? Okay. That's the first one. Second one is the value magnet swap. Now, you all have, I'm sure, downloaded tons of client attraction magnets from the internet. It's all those times where something pops up and someone says, would you like my 5-step process? Would you like my free this? Would you like to experience that? Would you like my guide to? Would you like my whatever it might be? So that is a client attraction magnet. As part of us growing our businesses, we want a really good, juicy client attraction magnet. Once you have a really good, juicy client attraction magnet, you're going to be able to utilize that fully. Same process as the first one, but instead of a masterclass, it's way easier, because this is great for those of you who don't like being very visible or feel like you're doing lots of things in your business. So the way this works is, once you've created your client attraction magnet, let's say it's a meditation, right? You've recorded a meditation. Then you go to one person a month and you just say, hey, can you do a client attraction magnet swap with me? So essentially, they talk about your client attraction magnet. So for example, let's say Angel came to me and she was like, Claire, I've got this awesome client attraction magnet and I would love for you to share this with your audience who would be up for it. I'd be like, yeah, cool, but give me all the content. So she sends me through a document, and in this document there's images for it and there's little bits of blurb for it, and I just have to share it with my audience. So on Monday I go live and I say, oh my God, like, my friend Angel has just shared with me this epic thing. You're gonna love it. This week she's giving it away free for you because you're in my audience. So here's a link, grab it. You're gonna absolutely love it. I can't wait for you to like download this thing. And so I share her link, people get her client attraction magnet, and then they go through her email list, say, right, she's building her audience, right? Day two, she's given me like a little post that I just need to copy and paste to my group with a nice image. Okay, it's talking about it again. Day three, she's given me the copy for an email, and I send that out to my email list. By the end of the week, I've shared it like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 times. She's now built her list by hundreds, and it's like, boom. And she's hardly had to do anything. Because at the very beginning of this strategy, she sat down, she created a client attraction magnet once, she created the content to support it once, 1 email, 2 posts, 3 images, that's it. And then she just sent it to me. And she just sends the same thing to this person, then this person the next month, then this person the next month, then this person the next month. Sue says, I don't get it. What do you get, Sue? Essentially, you have that one thing, and you share it with other people's audiences, but you're not even having to share it. They're sharing it with their audience, and it's growing your audience by default without you having to really do any work apart from build those connections. And as long as you're in a space where you see those connections, it's going to be so freaking easy. So it means that this almost happens like automatically. So if I wanted to, I could write a list tonight of like 6 people that I know who have audiences that complement mine. And I'll go, hey, over the next 6 months, I really want to do this in my audience. Would you be up for helping me? I'm happy to do a swap later on. This is my client attraction magnet. Please, would you share this in January? Would you share this February? Would you share this March? Boom. You wouldn't know how you hate the tech. So there's a tech way to do this, and there's a non-tech way to do this. I do teach this in my academy, because some of those of you who are naturally techie, you'll be able to create this, you'll be able to build the email list and everything with it. You do need an email list really to do it. But you can also do this with a Facebook group if you're like, you don't like the tech piece. But at this point, I don't want you to get too caught up with the tech idea. I want you to think about the strategy, find an aligned strategy, because you can always find ways to sort out the tech, right? The tech should never stop you when it comes to your business. So that's the second one. Third one, and this is for those of you who like to do the in-person pieces. This is for those of you who really like honor connection, want to feel connected to people. This is the mighty monthly meetups. So actually, I know there's someone who's listened to this tonight. I won't shout you out, but I know there's someone who's listened to this tonight who came and did these meetups with me early on when I was doing these in my business, when I'd moved back from New Zealand and I was doing it in the UK. So the idea of the mighty monthly meetups is that you meet up maybe once a month. It could be on Zoom, but it could be in person. And you meet up, you get together, you run like a kind of mini workshop, but not something big, not something huge. It's free. It's basically a way to build connection. You're going to rock up, you're going to have a nice time, you're going to have a chat, you're going to have a coffee, you're going to do a little bit of workshoppy thing, in order to really build like connection with these people. Now, this is what I used to do when I was in the UK at my local David Lloyd's. On a Sunday night, we'd go down, we would sit in the coffee shop, we'd get a coffee, we'd do a little bit of like workshopping, we would have a chat, we would talk about mindset. And it was a brilliant way to grow my business, because it meant that I built connections. It meant that I showed people how I could help them. And pretty much every single person, I think every single person who came to those monthly meetups ended up becoming clients. So I didn't necessarily sell in terms of like, oh, now here's the big sales piece, but they would know that they could potentially come in. They knew that I was offering like coaching and other things, and we would just have conversations. So maybe at the end they'd say, hey, Claire, like I would actually quite like to have some coaching with you. How could we do that? And so it would lead to conversations, because it happened really organically and really easily. So who did you do this meetup with? I would just talk about it online, right? And people would share it. So I would maybe, I'm going to talk about one of these in a minute, actually, that'll help. But I would just say to people, hey, I do this in the coffee shop, in the line. I'd be like, in conversation with people, oh, I do meet up with that on the last Sunday of the month. Why don't you come down and try it? I would just talk about it, share about it, and it would grow organically. And here's the thing about these monthly meetups: they do not need to be huge. If you've got 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, these 5 people can become clients. They each go and talk about the meetups. They each bring more people. Like it grows really organically. So this is the kind of thing that isn't for everyone. You've got to be a people person to want to do this. But if you're a people person, this is such an easy way to build epic connection and have a really lovely way of then working with people. And a lot of those people were my clients for years and years and years. So it's a gorgeous way of doing it. And it doesn't have to cost you a penny. You run it for free. It's about showing up. It's about building connection. And then people will take the next step. How would you do it online? Exactly the same, but you do it in a Zoom room. Exactly the same, but in a Zoom room. Okay, so that's the third one. Fourth one is your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. So this is a concept that you already know more people than you realize. This is where, as women, we often don't do ourselves any favors because we hate asking people for help. This is where you sit down and you really think about, who do you know? You are not selling to the people you know. We don't need to sell to the people we know, but we tell them what we're doing. We have coffee and we say, hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you know anyone who could help me? We write an email and we say, hey, I'm really excited. I'm building this coaching business, or I'm selling this new product. I can't wait to get it out there into the world. Do you know anyone who could like help open doorways for me? So we utilize our current network. Now, when I first trained as a life coach, this was a task that was given to me. We were told to go home and to write a list of 100 people who we could tell about our coaching, so that they could open up like their network to us. We don't sell our coaching to those 100 people. We say, hey, I'm doing this, can you help? And I remember going home and just feeling sick and being like, oh my God, I can't do this. I don't know anyone, right? And I wrote a list of maybe 4 people. That was how big my list was. I was like, I don't know anybody. This feels really icky. There's no way I can do this, right? But I wrote a list of 4 people. And it took me probably about 6 weeks before I took any action on it, because I was procrastinating big time, because I was a bit like, you've got to be kidding me here. But when I finally got over myself, I wrote an email to these 4 people. Of these 4 people that I wrote an email to, 1 I didn't hear a response from. That's fine. 3 I got a response from. 1 opened up some epic opportunities for me. She was like, yes, I know this person who would be worth talking to, and this person worth talking to, and this person worth talking to. And I spoke to these people, and it ended up in me running in-person events. It ended up with me speaking on stage. It was like this net worth that went ting, 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 as person connected me to person, connected me to person, connected me to person. It worked so powerfully. And I didn't think that it would work at all when I was sat in that group kind of session being told I needed a list of 100 people, and I came up with 4. And as I wrote that email to those 4, I was like, there's no way this is going to work. There is no way this is going to work. And it worked incredibly well. So the 4th one is your network is your net worth. It's recognizing that you are already connected to so many people. But the important thing here is remembering that you're not selling to these people, so there's nothing to feel icky about. You're just saying, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'm really passionate about it. Do you know anyone who could open any doors for me, or is there any way that you could support me with it? I'd be super, super, super grateful. This is one of the things that men are great at. How many of you have been to like men's networking sessions? Even just watching my husband and how he does this, right? Like men, it's like, oh mate, yeah, can you just hook me up with blah 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 blah? Do you know who someone? Oh yeah, absolutely. If you could just, it's like ting 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 ting, and they leave a networking session like having had a load of new contacts now that they can speak to, connect to, blah 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 blah. And as women, we instead go and we're really polite and we're lovely and we share what we do, and then that's it. It goes no further. We don't utilize our contacts. But the thing is, by not utilizing our contacts, we're not just doing ourselves a disservice, we're also doing other women everywhere a disservice. Because when we work together, we are so freaking powerful. When we give ourselves permission to go, yeah, I'm going to ask for a bit of help here and here and here. Guess what happens? It inspires other people to ask for help here and here and here. Before you know it, we're helping each other all over the freaking place. Instead of just giving and giving, we ask for a bit of help instead, and it creates magic. It really creates magic. And this is one of the reasons why I think women's businesses don't grow with as much speed as men's, because we don't give ourselves permission to say, hey, have you got any connections? Do you know anyone who? Like, are there any opportunities that you're aware of? Ping, 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 ping. Right, so that's number 4. Of the 4 that I've shared so far, this masterclass is going way longer than I thought it would. How's everyone going? Are you still with me? Are you still rocking this? Are you going strong still? Whoa, we've got so much still to do. Like, well done, those of you who are still here. I hope you're just enjoying the value, because there's definitely, like, this is definitely going longer than I expected it to be. But I'm hoping that you're loving it still. So of the 4 that we've already shared, how many of these feel aligned? Can you find one of these that you're like, oh, I could maybe do that? Maybe if I thought about it, if I put these things in place, if I gave myself permission, if I worked with the mindset monkeys, I could find a way to do it. Yeah. You haven't got to be 100% sold on it. You haven't got to do any of these 4. We've got more still to come. But I want you to start looking at it as the potential, because here's what we can do. When I share these with you, I know that there is a past version of myself at a certain point in trying to build my business who would have been like, no, that wouldn't work for me. No, well, I can't do that because I haven't got any connections, and I can't do a monthly meetup because there's nowhere for me to go, and I don't even know anyone to invite anyway. And like, no, I can't. I haven't got a client attraction magnet. I don't even know how to create a client attraction magnet, so I can't do that one either. And a masterclass, I don't even know how to create a masterclass. I don't know anyone to go to, so none of these would work for me. I know full well that there was once a version of me who would have just dismissed the whole lot, because they felt hard, because it felt like I didn't have the answers, because they felt out of my reach. But as I move forwards on my journey, I started to recognize we've got to look at the potential and the possibility. We've got to recognize that we have so much more. We know so much more. We're so much capable, and we actually give ourselves permission to recognize. And I believe that every single one of you can do one of these, at least one of them. The monthly meetups, for example, when you just start holding them, when you just start talking about them, they begin happening. There were some times in these mighty monthly meetups when I first began them that I showed up and no one else showed up. It would have been really easy to go, well, I won't bother coming next month because no one came. But I did. And then people did come. And then it grew. And then my business grew, right? So this is where we have to remember that we're building it as a business. This is not a hobby, and we have to be all freaking in. We need to see that vision of what we're moving towards, and we have to be like dedicated, focused. Yes, like I desire this. Yes, this is so beautiful. Yes, this is going to help me and you and create that beautiful ripple effect in the world. So we have to be like completely sold on that thing that we desire, on the business as we dream it to be. Because unless we can hold that, we're not going to bother doing this. It's going to feel too difficult to do this. And we're just going to we're going to play small. We're going to hold ourselves back. We're going to sabotage ourselves. And then 2 years, 3 years time, we're going to say, oh, I don't know why it didn't happen for me. And so this is where we've got to hold the dream and we've got to see it, because that's the thing that's going to give us the momentum to move forwards and absolutely do this. Okay, right. Whew. Next ones. Are you ready? Number 5 is the piggyback. Now, the piggyback is you piggybacking on other businesses. Again, you don't need loads of businesses, but you need a business you can piggyback on. Now, I did a lot of this both in New Zealand and in the UK when I was first starting to set up my business. In New Zealand, I went to some gyms and things like that. I was mindset coach, remember? So I went to gyms, especially like female gyms and small little bespoke gyms, not the big gyms, the little ones. And I'd be like, hey, this is what I do. I think that your clients would really benefit from mindset, because you're doing the gym with them, you're doing the other things. If they start investing in themselves from a mindset perspective, they're going to get better results for you, etc., etc. So essentially, I would go to their businesses and I would deliver value. I'd do a masterclass, I'd do a workshop, I'd do a talk, I'd do something. And then people would like step into my world and come and follow me, right? So I was giving value to those businesses, so they were happy to have me. I was saying, I'm giving you something for free here. And then the aligned clients would come along to me too. So essentially, you're piggybacking on another business, right? I also did this, although I didn't realize I was doing it this way, with some network marketing groups in the UK, whereby I could show up and I would give value. I would do free workshops, I would do free coaching and other things. And then people would be like, yes, I recognize I need help with this. And they would come and join me and then join my programs and join my free experiences and everything else. So the piggyback approach is you piggybacking on another business. It can be online or it can be in person. It's about identifying a place that you can give value. It's speaking to the local library and saying, I would love to do a talk here on. It's going to your kid's school and saying, like, I would love to do this in the school. Would you be interested? It's going to the gym and saying, hey, I would love to do this free session for you. It's speaking to the doctor's surgery, and it's finding the opportunities, right? So find the opportunities. That's what the piggyback is all about. The 6th one is the super networker. Sorry. So this is for those of you. How many of you go to networking sessions, either online or offline? How many of you go to network sessions? Some yes, some no. Right. Here's the thing about networking. Networking can either be a huge freaking waste of time, or it can be super powerful. But the problem is most people are not networking properly. Most people go along to a networking session, they stand up, they say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and this is what I do. And they sit down, and after the networking session, they have a little bit of chat, and then they go home. That's not how to network. The idea of super connector networking is that you know how to network. So when you go to a networking session, your like focus should be building relationships with people, following up with people, not to sell to them, not to sell with them, but to build the relationships so that these other strategies can work, right? So let's say my Gold Rush gathering networking, right? The idea is that the women coming together, like the rule is no sneaky selling, right? No sneaky selling. You're not selling to each other. That's not the point. You're networking so that you can collaborate, so that you can then say, oh, Sarah, can I come and do my masterclass in your group? Hannah, can I give you my client attraction magnet to share? Rohan, can I do a piggyback on your business because you're just down the road from me? Amazing, right? So when we're networking, we need to be super networking. We don't want to be going to networking sessions and wasting our time and leaving with nothing. We want to be identifying a couple of people at that network session that we can build a relationship with, that we can give value to their spaces to, that we can return as well, so that essentially we collaborate to grow. This is how all networking should be done, whether you're doing it online or in person. So Number 6 is the super networker. You go to different networking sessions, online and offline. It's not about selling to the people at the networking. That's one of the biggest mistakes that most people make. It's about actually, and it's the whole like no sneaky selling. That's not the idea. That turns people off. They want to run away, but they just want to be polite. It's instead going, hey, I think there's an opportunity here for us to help each other, right? So that's the super networker, really leveraging networking in order to grow your connections, in order to then utilize many of these other strategies. Is that making sense? Yeah? Okay. Then we have number 7, the published expert. So this is for those of you who like to write. This is for those of you who don't like to be perhaps so visible. This is a way of actually like hiding out a little bit, writing all the things and growing your audience through the power of your words. So how many of you actually like to write? The idea of the published expert is there are hundreds, there are thousands of online publications who are searching for content. Literally every month they've got someone they pay to find content to put on that published space. Literally, they're searching for it. They want it. They're desperate for it, right? So the idea behind this is that you write a piece of material that's going to speak to your soul clients. Step 1 of the process. Step 2 is that you find a list of online publications. You create a list of online publications that are the perfect match, that your soul clients go to, read, consume, right? And then number 3, you go to their website and you check like what their rules are around submitting your publication. You follow their guidelines and you submit it. If you do that once per month, your audience is going to grow. And literally there are journals, there are hundreds of thousands of journals who are literally desperate for pieces that they can publish. So these are the things like Elephant Journal, like Mind, Body, Spirit, like all of these different online ones. There are so many. Find the ones that are in your industry. I've had people like, for example, I had Joanna, who she had been a nail tech, right? And she was building a nail tech training business. She went and she found like nail tech magazines, and she not only got published in there, but they gave her free advertising in there, and then they invited her in as an expert. So she really leveraged that. That's how she built her audience. That's how she got to like multiple 6 figures, leveraging that literally by utilizing like the online kind of published space, right? So you just literally Google it. Like, so you Google like mindset, online mindset publications, nutrition magazines, online nutrition magazines, whatever. Like literally Google it, it'll come up with a massive list. Go and have a look at them, check that they're a fit. Psychologies Now, all of these kind of things. Astrology for you, you know, that kind of thing, right? So literally it doesn't take a long time. You're going to have to spend like 10 minutes Googling it, coming up with a list, writing your piece, checking like what you need to do in order to be able to submit that publication. Boom, Bob's your uncle. And these publications always let people know how to find you. So that's when they're going to come join your email list, join your Facebook group, follow your website, whatever it might be. I don't think people necessarily need a website, but you do need a next step so people can come and follow you. So that's number 7. Okay. Number 8 is similar, but for those of you who like talking. So number 8 is power podcasting. Power podcasting is not about you doing the podcasting. It's about you going to other people with a podcast. If you're starting a podcast from scratch, you need to have a bit of an audience for that podcast, right? So the best way to build your audience is not through your own podcast, it's going on other people's podcasts. And actually from that perspective, it's even easier. So again, similar with a published expert, first you need to find some podcasts that are the right fit for you. You want to start small, like don't go trying to get on Joe Rogan straight away, because what are the chances of that? Maybe possible, a piece of magic could happen, but not super possible. You could spend a lot of time, a lot of effort trying to get on Joe Rogan just to be told no. Maybe one day it would be a yes, but it'd be much easier to actually start with those small podcasts where people are like, oh my God, yeah, that sounds brilliant. Come on. I've been looking for people to come on. And then, of course, same as before, it's going to grow, it's going to snowball, it's going to, that word that I can't even remember again. You're going to leverage it, and you're going to be able to go to bigger podcasts and bigger podcasts and bigger podcast compound until maybe then Joe Rogan says, oh my God, you are the expert on, I need you to come on my podcast, please. And you're going to be like, hallelujah, I've done it. Right? So power podcasting is about you getting on other people's podcasts. Start small, make a list of podcasts that would be a good fit. And here's the thing, you've got to do a bit of research. No one likes being cold messaged, right? So if you go to someone who's got a podcast and you're like, I think I should be on your podcast because X, Y, and Z, they're probably going to be like, no. You need to go to them and be like, hey, I found your podcast. I love the episode on this and this and this. I adore the way you talk about this and this and this. I do this, and I really feel that I could bring value to your audience talking about this and this and this. So you've got to do a little bit of work. You can't just have like one thing that you send to again and again and again and again, because it's spammy and no one likes spam. Like we all know that no one likes spam. We all know when we get that cold message in our inbox saying, hey, let me show you how to, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, please go away. Whereas if someone takes time, that's a completely different thing. If someone takes time to look at your stuff and they come to you and they're like, I love this training that you did. I love the way that you talk about this. I really think that can add value with this. Then they're going to be open. Then they're actually going to be excited. Then they're going to begin a conversation. Okay. So you need to keep that in mind, especially with power podcasting. Right. We've done 8. How many of the 8? Is there anyone of the 8 who's like none? I don't like any of these yet. Is there anyone who's like none? Type in none if you're like, I don't like any of these. Otherwise, type in maybe your favorite so far. I'm really hoping that Zoom's not going to like cut off when I get to the time, because I said an hour and a half. If it cuts off, I don't know what I'm going to do. If it cuts off, go to the group and I'll share another link for us to continue. I think it'll be all right. I wouldn't have thought it would stop. I don't know though. I've never tried it before. Right. So then we have number 9, the viral quiz. So quizzes are one of those unicorns because people love quizzes. So with a viral quiz, if you create a quiz that just hits the mark, it is going to go viral. A quiz is a brilliant way to go boom. So if you like a quiz, it can very often make sense to create a quiz for your people. And as long as you hit the sweet spot with that quiz and it feels a little bit different and a little bit magical, it's going to create waves. And then people share it and share it and share it and share it, because when a quiz pops up that feels aligned to you, how often do you say no? Like how many of you have done quizzes before because you're just intrigued? You're like, I want to know that. I want to know that. I want to know that. My daughter came to me last night, in fact, and she was like, Mummy, what's this thing where I can find out my aura? I'm like, it was kind of a quiz, right? So people love a good quiz, and every single quiz has the potential to go viral. You can create a quiz with ease. It is a little bit techy, so it's for those of you who either know how to do a bit of the tech or you've got someone who can do the tech for you, but a quiz can be brilliant. Then we have number 10, which is the giveaway, the competition. It's a super simple one. It's a super obvious one. Essentially, once a month, you would be doing a competition, not more than once a month. You definitely want to build a strategy behind it. You don't want to just be showing up and doing a competition, right? You want to make sure it's aligned. You want to make sure you're bringing in your soul clients. I would avoid doing competitions where you're like, I'm going to give away £100 cash, or I'm going to give away an Amazon voucher. No, you want people who want the thing that you do. So if you're a mindset coach, maybe the giveaway is some like bundle of meditations or some bundle of mindset training, because you actually want to build an aligned audience. You don't just want like Steve, Bob and Harry being like, I want an iPad, I want an iPad. Like that's not how a good competition works. We want to make sure that a good competition brings in your soul clients now, right? So the competition is number 10, and then number 11, this is the final one, is the group contributor. Now, the group contributor is definitely a more difficult one. It's definitely become more difficult over time, but I wanted to put it in here because some people love it. The idea of the group contributor is that you find 2 or 3 groups that you love where you can share. You do not go in and just sell. You make sure that it's a group that complements what you do. You're not going to do any sneaky selling because we don't like that. It's out of alignment. You're going to go and you're going to give value. You're going to build relationships. You might even build a relationship with the person who owns a group, but you're going to help, you're going to support, you're going to help, you're going to support. You might even get to a place, and I've had clients who have actually been invited into that group as like a co-person of the group because they've given so much value. So I've had clients who the group owners have reached out and said, hey, like, I've noticed that you've been super active in the group. Like, I know that you do this, but the way that you support the group, the way that you show up is epic. I would love for you to actually support me in building this group. Let's do it together. And that, I've had a number of clients that that's happened to now. And what an incredible way to go boom to your audience all of a sudden, because you suddenly get invited to like co-host a group that's got 5,000 people in it, 10,000 people in it, 20,000 people in it, who knows how many, right? Incredibly powerful when you do it from that place of showing up and sharing. No sneaky selling. That's not the idea. We're not just trying to like show up and like sell and sell and sell. It's about building relationships. So for those of you who like building relationships, this can be a brilliant one, because people will notice that you're giving, and when that giving comes from that open place, it can return manyfold. Does it make sense? It takes lots of time. The group contributor definitely takes more time than some of the others, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. So I would say actually the group contributor is probably one of the most time consuming ones. So you would only choose it if it feels super aligned for you, but I know it will feel super aligned for some of you. Okay. Right. Okay. Give me a final one. Which is the one that you would be up for implementing? I want you to remember that it starts with the idea. It starts with I could run this strategy. Then we have to build it into a strategy. You need to plan and prepare. You need to check. You need to test. Then you need to build and you need to grow. Yeah. Ooh, holy moly. This has been a big one. I haven't quite finished yet though. Stick with me. Can you stick with me? 10 more minutes, everybody. So start with one. Start with one, the power of one. Don't try and do all of them at once. Build it, test it, improve it, grow it. Don't give up too soon. Don't throw the baby away with the bathwater, because you're potentially walking away from something that could be the make or break of your business. It could totally change the game for you, right? So as you think about these strategies, hold that vision in place as you take action. Right. Now, let me take you through a little checklist around this really briefly. I have got a little PDF that I've got, but it's not on my website link, so I haven't got the link to share with you yet. I'll get it into the group this week, right? So number one, we want to choose a strategy. Number two, we want to be clear. Why am I choosing this strategy? Know your why behind it, because that's going to give you the momentum. It's going to give you the drive. Number three, we're going to make a list. What do I actually need in order to implement this strategy? So we're going to do a brainstorm. We're going to write a list. What do I need to do this strategy? Number four, we're going to open our diary and we're going to set some dates. Okay, we're going to set some dates. Number five, we're going to figure out how we're going to measure the success of this strategy. We're going to create a plan around that. Number six, we're going to decide how and when we're actually running it. And number seven, we're going to set some stepping stone goals for ourselves, so that it's not just a big giant goal that feels a long way away, little teeny tiny goals that help us, that we celebrate as we achieve them, so we can feel that we're moving forwards with them. Does that make sense? Okay, so those of you who made it this far, give yourselves a round of applause. I really want you to take this. I really want you to absorb this. I really want you to think about this, because it absolutely has the power to be a game changer for your business. I know that tonight has been a freaking big one. We've gone a lot longer than I expected. Now, for those of you who know you want to build your business, for those of you who know you're ready to stop playing small, you're ready to do this big time, for those of you who want help and support, how do you actually do all of these pieces? How do you build a client attraction magnet? How do you build an email list? Who are you even speaking to? Who is your soul client? How do you get that right? How do you create content that's magnetic? How do you do this in a super aligned way? What's the actual how in terms of these strategies, so that you can do this with way more ease and actually way more speed? How do you sell? How do all these pieces basically pull together? Well, this is what I take you through literally in the academy. So what I'm going to do to finish up now is I'm going to take you through what actually happens inside the academy. The doors are open. There is fast action pricing. still open. There are a ton of incredible bonuses that come along with it. We've had some beautiful women who've already stepped into it and who are ready to like go big, baby. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take you through a couple of slides. I'm going to break down the academy. I'm going to tell you what you can expect, how it works, what we cover, all of the things. Because essentially the academy is the place where we get all of these pieces of the puzzle and we put them together in a super soul aligned way for you. It's a place where we build momentum. It's a place where we help you get into flow. And it's a place where we absolutely ensure that you feel aligned as you're doing this, so that you can build a dream, so that you do attract the clients, so that you do make the sales, so that you begin to get the evidence that you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. So we can take you from either just getting started in your business to building the dream. So the academy is freaking amazing for those of you who are just starting out, because it's going to support you in building your business just with way more ease. You're going to be able to avoid the mistakes that so many other people make. For those of you who feel like you've been trying to build your business, maybe you've even invested in programs and other things before and it's not working, in the academy, we work together to get these pieces in place and working for you. So it's not just about a space of training. It's not even just about helping you implement it. It's also about helping you implement it in a way that works, because that is essentially what makes all the difference. I want to help you make sure that you're speaking to the soul client, so it's actually going to grab their attention. I want to help you find your message and position it powerfully, so it's actually activating those people in your space. I want to help you put together your mailing list, your client attraction magnet. I'm going to take you through the tech step by step. For those of you who struggle with it, I've got you. You're not going to be trying to second guess or figure it all out by yourself. I'm going to teach you how to launch in your business so that you really can actually grow your business with speed, whether it's your very first launch or whether we're like building this, tweaking it and scaling it. And I'm going to teach you how to sell in a super soul aligned way so that you're excited to show up to share, so that you're inspired by what you're selling, so that you're no longer holding yourself back when it comes to the actual sale. So it's literally all the freaking pieces. So what I'm going to do for those of you who are staying with me now to go through this, I'm going to bring up my screen. I'm going to check in with you as I go. I'm still in the corner, so you should be able to see me. So bear with me a second, and I need your help to know whether this works. So let me literally just go share my screen. Share my screen here. This should work, hopefully. Let me go to presentation mode. Presenter. Oh, hang on, that one even. Go full screen, and then just tell me, hopefully you can see me in the corner and you can see the Impact Income Academy on your screen. Just tell me in the chat. Let me open that up and just check it's actually working. Scroll down so I find you. Whew, all these comments. Yes, you can see it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I think you all can. There's one person who says you don't see me, but I think everyone else is saying you can. Yes, okay, perfect. Right, let's do this then. So, what is this? This is the Impact and Income Academy. Essentially, it's a 4-month explosive business breakthrough experience. Now, I say 4 months, but actually it's more than that. And the reason it's more than that is because, well, number one, I'm creating brand new trainings that are supercharged, that are going to really take your results through the roof. And number two, we also have breaks in the academy. So we have what I call implementation weeks. So for those of you who live busy lives, for those of you who feel like you're juggling a lot, for those of you who are thinking, oh my God, I want to do this, but how the heck do I actually fit it in? I've actually built the academy in a specific way so that you have time to implement it and you have time to create the results that you're looking for, right? So that it's not just training. We have spaces within that training for you to implement and for you to grow. So I say it's 4 months, but it's actually longer than that because of all the other pieces that are weaved into it. Within the academy, before we even begin looking at, well, what is it and how is it structured, there are a ton of bonuses that support everything that we do inside the academy. So the first bonus is the money, abundance, and wealth breakthrough. So this is one of these core pieces that we want to make sure is working for you. If you have an unhealthy relationship with money, if you struggle with your money mindset, if you struggle for receiving for the work that you do, we want to change that. So this program is foundational work that's going to help you transform your relationship with money so that you can begin receiving in your business. This is like the first bonus that you get. And you get these as soon as you sign up. The second bonus is Visible AF. So this essentially transforms your visibility. It's the mindset around visibility and it's a strategy around visibility. So essentially, the Academy doesn't begin until June. The moment you sign up, you can decide, do you want to dive into some of these bonuses and do some of the foundation work before we even begin? Or do you want to get your ducks in a row so you're ready to go and like kick ass in June? So this is why you get them now, so that you're not waiting, you're actually moving forwards before we even begin. And we have a Facebook group to support you and all kinds of other things. So it's planned like this on purpose. Third thing, how many of you, just tell me actually in the chat, have a Facebook group or would like to have a Facebook group? Maria, you're watching Visible as fuck now and it's so awesome. Woohoo! Jacqueline says, I did the Academy while working a 40-hour week and it wasn't difficult to keep up. Absolutely. Okay, so those of you who have a Facebook group or those of you who desire to have a Facebook group, on top of the Academy, this bonus is epic. It's a full program that takes you literally step by step by step by step, tiny little steps, so that you can build an epic group. Now, this means that for the Academy, you don't have to have a group. We decide whether it's aligned for you or not. Groups are a brilliant way to grow your business if they're aligned, but you don't have to have a group, right? So this bonus is epic for you if you've either got a group, but it's small or it's not working or it's time consuming, or you desire a group, but you just don't know the how. So you're going to love this. It's absolutely brilliant bonus. It's worth £1,000 in itself. Then we have emails with ease. So emailing, this is where I can't say enough. It's really important in today's climate to have an email list. How many of you have an email list? Just tell me in the chat. Because of the changes in social media, our social media spaces can go like that. I know there'll be those of you here who've had issues with Facebook. You've been banned, you've been taken off things, not just Facebook, it happens across the board with all of the different platforms, right? So what do we do if things go wrong? We need to make sure we're building an email list. So as part of the Academy, I take you through step by step how to build an email list, right? Because this is your backup. This is your business. Social media platforms can change in an instant. So we need to have something that sits beneath that gives us security, right? We want to be building businesses that have security baked into them. So every single person who comes into the Academy, I support you in building an email list and I show you how to do it. I take you through the tech step by step. So what is this? Well, Emails with Ease is basically emails that are done for you. They're like plug and play templates and other things that you can utilize to make it even easier for yourself. I'm also about to add to this because I'm going to do some training on AI and show you how you can like literally create emails so quickly, so easily, but still in your voice, still authentically, so that this piece doesn't have to take you a lot of time, right? So this is what Emails with Ease is all about. Oh, my voice is going a bit. Then we have Amplify with Ads. So the idea here is that as you move through the Academy, you're going to go from organic marketing into hybrid marketing so that you're able to grow your audience with more speed so you can have those bigger income months. So Amplify with Ads is there for you to begin utilizing ads as soon as you desire to. We do also look at ads at the end of the Academy, inside the Academy, but this means that if you want to start utilizing some of those hybrid ads more quickly within your business, the training is there, the support is there for me to help you implement it. So that's Amplify with Ads. And then finally, we have the Tech Vault. Just tell me in the comments how many of you feel like you struggle with the tech. How many of you feel like, oh my God, tech is the thing that holds me back, that puts me into procrastination, that makes me sabotage myself when it comes to my business? Yeah, so here's the thing. When I was getting started with my own business online, the tech stopped me again and again and again and again and again. It was a nightmare. So I personally took a long time to learn how to do the tech. So what we've got now inside the Academy is I don't want tech to hold anyone back ever in terms of your business growth. So there are two levels of tech support inside the Academy. Firstly, the pieces that I believe you absolutely need are baked into the Academy. And then everything else, the icing on top of the cake, is in the Tech Vault. It's a training area and it's support with literally all things tech, so that tech should never stop you on your journey to building the dream business. So this is like, it's an incredible bonus. I've had the whole vault built especially for you. and there's ways to access support within that if you're still struggling. So it's brilliant. Okay, so they're the bonuses before we even begin the academy, and you get access to those straight away. You can dive into those straight away. You can start seeing results with them straight away. Then we have the actual modules within the academy. So what happens live within the academy? So first step is we want to get you sorted with social media. So if at the moment you feel like you're spaghetti marketing all over the place, you don't know what you're posting, where you're posting it, how you should be doing it, we're going to get you feeling crystal clear so that you're nailing this ASAP, so that you're working smarter, not harder, so that you know how you're using social media, so that you choose your social media home and we can grow it from there. So we begin with laying the foundation for client attraction. If you're all over the place with social media, it means you're probably working really hard on that hamster wheel, feeling like nothing's happening. So this transforms that. We're going to get you crystal clear. We're going to work smart, not harder. We're going to also, as part of this, get you clear on your soul client. No playing small, what we've talked about. We're going to make sure you know the one that you're speaking to, and we begin working on your message. So this is really about like the foundation piece. Step one. Where are you showing up? How are you showing up? How are we doing this with strategy, and who are you speaking to? So by the end of this module, you'll be confident and clear on how to utilize social media for next level growth. How many of you feel like you're all over the place with social media still? Kirsty, I'm a business beginner, not making income yet. Do you do finance for the academy? We do payment plans for the academy. Yes, we do. You can see them on the full sales page. Cool. All right. So this is step one. We need to nail this first. And so this works whether you're a literal newbie, because we want to nail it from the beginning, or whether you're already using social media, but it's a little bit all over the place and you're not quite sure where you should be building it or what you should be posting where, and you're just confused by the whole thing, right? Then we have content unleashed. So once we're then clear on, right, where are you showing up? Where are you being visible? And who are you speaking to? Then we want to start getting really clear with what are you sharing? What is the content that's going to create an impact with your soul client? This is not about posting everywhere. This is not about posting every single day. This is not about feeling pressure as you build in your business. This is about positioning your content powerfully. So we're going to look at how you actually grab the attention of your dream clients so they stop scrolling when they discover you, so your content matters to them. I'm going to teach you how to create content with ease, the content creation formula, so that you can create it with ease, with speed. It's quick, it's easeful, it's in flow. We're going to look at uncovering the secret for repurposing so that you never feel stuck again for posting content, so that when you have holidays, when you have time out, you're not like constantly working in your business. Otherwise, you're just creating a prison for yourself. So how are you building a business that works in alignment with your life and yet still showing up powerfully for your soul clients? So by the end of this module, you'll be able to confidently create powerful content that magnetizes clients to you. How many of you feel like there's like an ongoing pressure to create content? Do you have experience with foreign countries? Yeah, the academy is about 50-50. We have about 50% all over Europe. I've also had people in New Zealand and Australia and America, and maybe 50% here in the UK. There's always a real beautiful mix of the two. Okay, cool. With some of the things, yeah, fab. Okay. So that's content unleashed. Then we move to grow your audience. So we're going to look at the organic growth formula. What are you doing? How are you building your audience? Like we've talked about the content piece, but how are we now magnetizing people to you? We're going to weave your web of visibility. So essentially it looks like you're everywhere all the time without actually needing to be. And we're going to begin building your email list so you have a community of people ready to buy. So as I said, an email list is key. And when you know how to leverage that email list, it's going to transform your sales like big time. So by the end of this module, you'll know how to build an audience of ideal clients who are ready to buy from you. I apologize, I've been talking so long. I'm like, whew. Then we're going to move to programs, products, and pricing. So we're going to make sure you're confidently pricing your programs and products. No more undercharging, no more second guessing. We're going to create your product, your program pyramid for next level business growth and your ticket to consistent 5K plus months. You're going to discover the secret to upsells, downsells that can triple your income with ease. By the end of this module, you'll be sorted with your pricing, your products, your programs, and have a plan for hitting at least 5K months within your business, or more if you're already at that 5K month point. Then we're going to look at a powerful positioning. So we're going to tap into the desires and needs of your soul clients. We're going to make sure they see the value. This is that value piece that I talked about earlier, where people get a taste of you. We're going to look at how you create sorry, let me read that again. We're going to look at faster income growth through this kind of tasting, giving people a sense of you. And then we're going to look at how you make sure you're attracting people who are ready to buy, which is essentially all the difference, right? So by the end of this module, you'll be equipped with positioning your products and your offers powerfully so people are actually ready to buy. Then we have, this is probably my favorite part, learn to launch. How many of you are launching in your business? How many of you even know what launching is? Whew, tell me in the comments. How many of you know what launching is? No idea? Okay. So launching is a strategy that it's essentially the most effective way to grow your business, whether you're online or whether you're in person. Launching is known across all industries to be the best way to create more sales within your business. But not all launching is equal. And some people teach launching in a super misaligned way. Now, I believe that launching can feel flipping amazing when you do it in a super aligned way that works for you, when you utilize your expertise, when you utilize your gifts and you build it around that. So launching is your ticket to much bigger income months. And I teach you how to do this in the academy, and it's a game changer. So this is where you're going to discover the power launch formula to dramatically, I can't even speak anymore, increase your audience. It's where we create a rinse and repeat strategy. So we're going to create it, improve it, and go bigger and bigger and bigger with it so that you can bring in those bigger income months whenever you desire it. And you're going to learn how to implement this without overwhelm and struggle. So by the end of this module, you'll have nailed launching in a supercharged way for your business. Then we're going to go from awkward to aligned sales. So this is the mindset of sales. This is the know-how of sales. This is like the formula for sales. This is how you sell your thing in a super soul aligned way without feeling icky, feeling in full alignment and with ease. It's how you get people from the, oh, I would like to, but I can't afford it, to the hell yes, I'm ready now. So this is a super powerful piece within the academy. It's obviously essential. This is where we get you receiving with ease for the work that you do, baby. Then we have scaling. So at this point, imagine, right? We've got all the jigsaw pieces. It's actually working. You feel like you know what you're doing. You're feeling in flow. You've got clients coming in. You're selling in a super aligned way. You've got launches happening that are creating much bigger income months. And it feels like, whew, I've nailed it, baby. I've finally done it. Next comes the scaling. Next comes a piece where we go to those kind of 10K months, we build that 6-figure business, because actually you don't have to do anything differently once you've got those pieces. It's just about scaling the strategy. And you can do that in a super aligned way so that you're having a bigger impact, so that you're feeling more free, so that you're serving the world even more powerfully. So that's where we kind of bring things in at the end of this program. So essentially together we will be unlocking your magic, because that's what this is all about, right? This is not a cookie cutter approach. This is about your magic. This is about uncovering your most powerful message. This is about unleashing your energetic blueprint for success. How do we actually do it? So this is what I think makes the academy completely different to anything else out there. So number one, we have weekly training. This is where we have the teaching element, and it's about an hour's training every week. This is the bit that you need to know so that you know what to do next. Then we have the support training. Sorry, next we have, I'm jumping about this, it's not actually in order, I've just realized. So first we have the training, then we have the implementation support. So this is group coaching with me, where I speak to you every single week in our group call, and I help you not just implement it, but implement it in a way that works. So this is where you come and you say, Claire, what do you think about this? How can I word this? I'm feeling this, but I can't get it. Like, this is what I'm thinking for this, but can you help me, right? This is where you get my specific hands-on help to actually get the pieces working. This is where my expertise really comes into place, because I'm so good at just like bringing your thing and tweaking it, bringing your thing and tweaking it, so that we actually reposition it so that it begins working for you. On top of that, I know that mindset is a huge piece in you actually doing the thing. So on top of the training and the coaching with me to implement it and get it working, you have weekly mindset calls that you can join if you need a bit of support. So if your mind monkeys are going crazy, if you're sabotaging yourself, if you feel yourself in that like space of like, oh my God, I don't know, we're there, we've got you. We're not going to let you fall off the wagon. We're going to hold you, we're going to support you, we're going to make sure that you can feel good as you do this. On top of that, there is a huge amount of support training that takes you deeper and deeper and deeper, that really takes you through every single thing in detail. There is the most beautiful Facebook community that you're going to go into with your Academy sisters. It's a small group of you that's going to go through this. You're going to get to know each other really well. And the support that happens in these groups is just incredible. And then on top of that, you get lifetime access to all the training. So you don't have to panic about, oh, but I missed that training, or I haven't done that, or I didn't even get to that yet. It's fine. You get lifetime access to it all. So it's huge. How is this feeling? How is this sounding for everyone? Sounding good? Can you see how there's just like, there's just so much in all of this. And I've done it, and I know it might even feel a little bit overwhelming because there's so much, right? But this is, as I talk it through with you, because I know it sounds like it's a lot, but I've weaved this together in a way that can work for you, whether you're doing a full-time job, managing kids, whatever. Because for me, this is all about how we do it in alignment. This is really about you feeling good as you go through the process. So we have implementation weeks, we have extra mindset support, we have group support, we have every single thing in place, tech support, to make sure that you don't get stuck at any of the points where you might have got stuck at previous programs. And on top of that, you have a level of access to me that I don't know one of the coach who's working at my level who gives you anywhere near the access of me. If at any point you get stuck or need a bit of extra help, you can message me personally, on top of the weekly group calls, on top of the group support, because I am 100% committed to making sure that you get this working for you. And that's why there's so much in place here that you can tap into in the way of support to make sure it works for you. So your Academy Soul Sisters are here to support you every single step of the way. These are some of the early programs that I ran, but these women are still in touch with each other now. The relationships that happen are beautiful. It's gorgeous. I just think relationships are key. You have your Facebook community for support every single step of the way. And just a couple of testimonials. So Claire, you might have seen, I shared one of Claire's interviews. Claire essentially was doing a job that she hated. She joined the academy. I think it was within the first 3 months of doing the academy. She left her job and she made more in her business in the very first month of her business than she had been doing on a month-by-month basis in her job. So Claire had been super scared as she joined me. Originally, she was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is what will work. But she showed up. She did the work. She took the leap really quickly and absolutely nailed it. It was incredible watching her do it. Kasia said, words can't just describe how incredible Claire is. She's a goddess of business and growing your mindset and the best coach I've ever worked with. Joanne, the push I needed without being pushy. High vibe, always leaves me buzzing with belief and vision. These are all people who built their businesses, right? So Holly, the first month into building my business full time, I got the puppy I could never have had while working 9 to 5, and I've already hit 8K. So 8K in the first month in her business full time just shows you what's possible. Feeling more inflow than ever before and super excited to scale it. We have Joanna, who I mentioned before, 5-figure months with a membership, and the first Christmas that I haven't had to buy gifts on my credit card. I could cry. I'm so happy. I can't believe how lucky I was to come across you. So these are just a few of the examples of so many women who are crushing it going through the academy. How do they do it? It's a combination of the mindset. We need the mindset, the strategy. We need the strategy to create sell-out success, sell out of your programs, you feeling super aligned every single step of the way. The question is, I guess, where could your business success grow to in 2024? Let me stop sharing this now and let me come back and speak to you personally for the last couple of minutes. So here's the thing about the academy. It's going to feel a bit scary to take the leap because it's a big leap, right? Like it's a lot. Hold on, I've lost my chat. Let me just bring my chat back up. There we go. Can you see me again, just by the way? I know it's going to feel a bit scary to take the leap, but the Academy is unlike any other program you have taken part in. It has got everything baked in. You have got a super amount of support, and the whole concept of it is to get you implementing strategies in a super aligned way, enjoying the journey, leaning into your gifts, activating the magic, right? This is your ticket to really saying yes, to no longer playing small and allowing yourself to put all those pieces in place so that you're no longer trying to figure it out alone. This is a program that I wish I had had when I first started trying to take my business online, that I instead invested huge amounts of money for in all these different places, trying to put in together all these pieces when yes, there was mindset over there, or yes, there was strategy here, or yes, there was energy there. But I had to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this in order to actually pull these pieces together and get it working for me. So when I eventually went through that process, I went through that kind of 6-figure mark in my business, people started asking me how I had done this. This is when the Academy was originally formed, and it has grown and it has improved and it has become this incredible space where literally magic happens every single freaking day. The doors are open. I would love for you to join me. You can pay in full, you can pay in installments, you can message me, you can book a call if you've got questions. I'm going to give you, let me just grab this. I want to just find my link. I'm going to give you my personal link so you can message me directly if you would like to, if you've got questions, or of course you can book a call. So let me just copy and paste that. Let me copy and paste it in. Oh, not to panelists, put it into the whole, to everyone. So if you've got questions, you can message me there. If you want to have a look at the actual page with all the information in, let me also get that for you here. Hang on, where's it gone? Don't know where it's gone to. Bear with me a second. I'm just clicking back to find the actual page. I'm going to pop it in. You probably had it through on email though. Let me pop this in the chat bar here. Oh, okay. How is everybody feeling? This is a point where I wish I could actually see your faces. Who's got to the end with me? There is no way that I expected to be going for 2.5 hours tonight. Those of you who've actually made it to the end, I'm so impressed. I'm quite impressed that I've made it to the end now. I need a glass of red wine for sure. It was a big one. There was a lot to share, but I'm really glad that we got through it all, right? So if you've made it this far, that you have shown your commitment, your dedication, you have got it in you to do this. Come and join me in the Academy and let's actually make the magic happen for real, for sure. Let me guide you, let me support you along the way. Book in a call if you've got questions. Just take the leap if not. You know, you probably at this point don't even need to speak to me because you're probably feeling that pull in your soul. You know it's for you. I have got you 100% when you're in. Talia, you're signing up tomorrow. Mwah! Yes, baby. I know some of you already signed up. I know some of you are booked in calls with me later this week. You've got a link so you can message me directly. You've got the page so you can check out all the information. Fast action pricing is available. That means there's over £1,000 off right now. There are some extra juicy bonuses that I haven't even mentioned on that The pay in full bonus where you get a one-to-one with me, that's incredible. The in-person bonus where you come to an in-person day in Manchester and we celebrate big time and we do some incredible work together, and the energy is just through the roof. Like, it's awesome. It's amazing. So come join me. I will see you inside the Academy. And of course, remember, it's not over yet. So fast action pricing ends after the masterclass on Tuesday. Tuesday night, midnight is when the price goes up. Tuesday night, midnight. So you've got then until the price goes up to the next step. This is not the end. We have got a masterclass on Tuesday, a different masterclass. We're not going to go for 2.5 hours on Tuesday. But you're going to love Tuesday's masterclass, so come join me then. It's a completely different masterclass. It's like the next level. We've got our competition prize draw on Wednesday, and of course, if there is any content that you haven't got through yet from the Attraction Alchemy experience, all of that is available until the end of this week. Thank you very much. You're flipping amazing. You've got this. You've got this. When do you do the very first coaching call? We begin the first week of June. So once you've signed up, you're going to get access to your bonuses straight away. So you can dive into those as soon as you desire it. The Facebook group for the Academy opens this Friday. So on Friday, you'll get access to the Facebook group. You can begin getting to know each other. And then we actually begin the Academy journey officially first week of June. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, oh, but there's summer holidays later on. Don't worry, I've got you. Like, we've got spaces booked in. We've got extra implementation weeks. You are 100% going to be able to implement this over summer holidays and still enjoy the holidays and still in flow and absolutely get the results that you desire. I promise you, I guarantee it. We're a beautiful group. We do the work together. We're going to nail it. I'm sending so much love your way. Go and have an epic evening. Go and do whatever it is you do to just like appreciate yourself and the time that you put in for your business tonight. I will see you Tuesday. Those of you in the UK, enjoy your bank holiday. I don't know if you've got bank holiday further afield. I will see you Tuesday for our next masterclass or inside the Academy, baby. Mwah. Lots and lots of love to you all. Thank you. You're badass. You've done it. I appreciate you. Okay.